Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And today is a good day. Today is a very good day. I got a lot of sleep last night. I went to bed very early, and then I woke up in the middle of the night, and I watched a couple TV shows, and I went back to bed, and I fell asleep very easily last night. And then I got up today and was cleaning the house, making the bed, all that kind of stuff. And I thought, well, I'm gonna start filming some videos. It's very quiet out here today. There's a nice little breeze. I'm in a fantastic mood. So see, some days I do wake up good. Some days I do wake up on the right side of the bed. Today was one of those days. So, how are y'all doing today? Oh, and I am going to a meeting with my good Judy, Tanya Jean, tonight. We're going to try a new meeting tonight that we haven't been to. I don't know that I've ever been to this meeting before, so I'm kind of excited about that. I brought with me the books that I was going to read yesterday, which are the 2 Melody Beatty books, and then Linda Picone, the Daily Book of Positive Quotations. So I thought we would, do we need some positivity in our life today? Let's try with the Daily Book of Positive Quotations. Today is August 22nd. Oh, I went to September 22nd. Let's see what it says. Are you ready? Okay. August 22nd. Oh, this is a short one. Today. Yesterday is ashes, tomorrow wood. Only today does the fire burn brightly. We are here right now in the middle of today. We have many wonderful memories of the past, and we have hopes for what will happen in the future. But it's today we are living. I will not let today slip by without living it as fully as I can. And I love this meditation, especially on the heels of what I just said, because, you know, yesterday, I was struggling yesterday. I was really struggling, and I woke up with kind of a negative attitude yesterday and kept on having to start my day over several times. But I got there. I got there eventually, you know, and I actually had a very productive day yesterday and got a lot done. And so I'm happy about that. But, you know, today I woke up, and like I said, I'm in a much better mood today, in a much better space, and I'm excited about this evening, and I'm just kind of trying to stay in today right now, you know, and just enjoy the weather. It's supposed to be like 95, 96 the next couple days. There's like a heat advisory. It's upper 80s today, which is still hot, right? But not as hot as it's going to be, and not as hot as it was yesterday. So I'm trying to kind of like enjoy the cooler weather a little bit and the breeze outside. And, you know, I've been listening to my audiobook a lot today, My Misfortune Cozy Mystery, and just kind of living in today and just really enjoying today. And so this is a good meditation for me to start this afternoon with, and just to kind of remember, you know, like, let's just live in today. Let's not borrow trouble from tomorrow. Let's not borrow trouble from the past. Let's just live in today and enjoy it. We can't do anything about tomorrow. We can't do anything about today. You know, we can plan for tomorrow. We can deal with what happened in our past, but we can't change those things today. So let's just live in today and enjoy today for today. All right, so that was a great meditation. Now let's go into, let me see what Language of Letting Go has for today. Let's see what the meditation is. August 27th. Oh, this might be interesting. I don't know what this is going to be about. Responsibility for family members. I can still remember my mother clutching her heart, threatening to have a heart attack and die, and blaming it on me. This is interesting. Anonymous. For some of us, the idea that we were responsible for other people's feelings had its roots in childhood and was established by members of our nuclear family. We may have been told that we made our mother or father miserable, leading directly to the idea that we were also responsible for making them happy. The idea that we are responsible for our parents' happiness or misery can instill exaggerated feelings of power and guilt in us. Wow. We do not have this kind of power over our parents, over their feelings, or over the course of their lives. We do not have to allow them to have this kind of power over us. Our parents did the best they could, but we still do not have to accept one belief from them that is not a healthy belief. They may be our parents, but they are not always right. They may be our parents, but their beliefs and behaviors are not always healthy and in our best interest. We are free to examine and choose our beliefs. Let go of guilt, let go of excessive and inappropriate feelings of responsibility toward parents and other family members. We do not have to allow their destructive beliefs to control us, our feelings, our behaviors, or our life. Today I will begin the process of setting myself free from any self-defeating beliefs my parents passed on to me. I will strive for appropriate ideas and boundaries concerning how much power and how much responsibility I can actually have in my relationship with my parents. Wow, this is interesting. You know, it's interesting because I have friends of mine whose parents have and do say things to them like, well, I guess I should just share my experience. I don't know. But I've had friends of mine whose parents, like, guilt-tripped them greatly into, you know, like, thinking that they were responsible for situations in their life. I don't know that I necessarily had that so much. Definitely not from my dad and my stepmom. My mom was more of a guilt tripper. You know, she would make me feel like, I can remember early when I was younger that, like, if she would drink, I would feel like she drank because she was sad. And if she was sad, I would feel like I was partly responsible for that. I know that this is kind of a mixed up thinking, but this is the thinking of a child, right? And I would feel like maybe I wasn't making my mom happy, or I wasn't doing enough to make my mother's life happy. And I think this extended into my adulthood as well, because I can remember, it was like right in there, and I've shared this story many times, that I had a conversation with my mom, and this was when I was working full-time. I was getting my master's degree. I was in a relationship. I had a roommate that was my best friend at the time. We were all living together. You know, I was working out every day. I mean, I had a very, very busy life. And yet I was still trying to visit my mom like 3 to 4 times a week on my way home from work and stop over here and see her. And I remember one time she said something to me, and I was just exhausted. I was tired by all of it. You know, I had an internship on top of that. I mean, I like had no time to myself, and I felt like I was just being pulled in 50 different directions. And you want to talk about a time to stand up for yourself. I think that was a time for me to stand up for myself. And my mom made some comment about, I mean, it wasn't like a harsh comment, but it kind of like pulled at like my childhood feelings about things. And she said to me, I just wish I would get to see you more and we could like hang out more and things like that. I'm thinking, my God, I'm already here 3 or 4 times a week, you know, or 2 to 3 times a week. I'm doing the best I can, whatever. And my mom, she said something about like, I'm sad and I don't really see people a lot and whatever, which was kind of like what went back to my childhood of, if I don't make my mom happy, then she's going to drink and she's going to hurt herself, was kind of how I felt, right? And so I have this feeling over me. We're sitting there talking, and I remember I said to my mom, I'm not responsible for your happiness. And I was like, where did that come from? Like, I didn't even know where it came from, right? Like, I don't even think I was that healthy, you know? And she said, what did you say to me? And I said, I'm not responsible for your happiness. And it was like this watershed moment, you know? And I can remember, like, I think in a lot of situations, a lot of parents, many family members would respond to that negatively, and I'm so thankful that my mom didn't. And she looked at me and she said, do I make you feel that way? And I said, oh yeah, you do. Yeah, like if I don't come over here enough, like you make me feel like I'm not doing my job as a son and, you know, whatever. And she said, I don't ever want you to feel that way. My happiness is not your responsibility at all, and I am so sorry if I ever made you feel that way. And it was this pivotal moment in our changing of our relationship. You know, like I said, that could go very wrong in some relationships, and other parents would say, yes, you are. I mean, yeah, I put food on your table and I gave you clothes to wear. Yes, my happiness and my well-being is your responsibility as I get older, which it isn't. That is not your responsibility, you know? I think to take care of your family and take care of your parents as they get older is very nice. I do. I think that, you know, let's hope that we should all do that, you know? That's who I, you know, hope to be for my dad and my stepmom as I get older and things like that. But it's not my responsibility. If I even said that to my dad today, he'll be 83 this week. You know, if I said that to my dad said, it's not your responsibility to take care of me. I feel like I should as I get older, right? But definitely not his level of happiness or to make him as happy. And I know that there are people out there that are like, no, that's not true. It really is. No, it really isn't. And it really was never our parents' responsibility to make us happy. You know, those are things that we have to work on ourselves. But there was that pivotal moment for me, you know, that I had to realize that I'm not responsible for my parents' lives and they're not responsible for mine. And ultimately, I mean, when I'm younger and I'm a child, you know, yes, they were responsible for my life. But as an adult, they're not responsible for my life. They're not responsible for the choices that I make. They're not responsible for my happiness and all that kind of stuff, you know. And that's been, you know, very important for me. And I think my ability to I think, have the relationship that I've had with my parents, my mom before she passed, and my dad, you know, to this day, my stepmom, is that I think we both know that we're not responsible for each other's happiness, you know? I think there's this great misconception out there that, like, I'm like this trust fund kid, and, like, my dad has not given me money in a very, very long time. Not even for Christmas would he give me $20. That kind of goes along with when I got sober, you know? And the one time that my dad gave me money was the week that my mom passed away, and I paid him back. So I paid my dad back every cent that I ever gave him. I've shared the story before, but when I got sober, I needed a new car, and my sponsor at the time said, well, you said that you don't want to take money from your dad anymore because your relationship is built on money, but I needed a new car. So, I'm not proud of this, but it's funny in retrospect. So I went to my dad and I said I needed a new car, and my dad got me a new car. Well, it was a used car, but got me a car, which I'm very grateful for. And I called my dad every single year on my sobriety date and thank him for my treatment, my education, and, you know, everything that he helped me with. And then I got a new sponsor, and my sponsor said, okay, so your sponsor was correct, your previous sponsor, about this, saying that you needed to have this conversation, because he had said you need to have a conversation with your dad and say, I can no longer accept money from you. And so I had that conversation with my dad, and after I got the car, and I said I can no longer take money from you. Like, our relationship, a lot of it is built on you giving me money, me being dependent on you, and things like that. My dad was like, I have absolutely no problem. I mean, you're almost 20, you know, you're 23 years old. Like, you need to be dependent. You need to be independent, right? And so he's like, I have no problem with that whatsoever. And that was when our relationship started to improve. That he was no longer financially responsible for me. He no longer was responsible for my happiness, hadn't been in quite some time. I was no longer responsible for him. And our relationship was able to grow organically, you know? My relationship with my mother was able to grow organically when she got sober, and I no longer felt responsible for her level of happiness on those kinds of things, you know? It's a huge responsibility to bear, to feel like, you know, I think we do have responsibilities. Like, my mother had, like, a lot of mental health issues, and I think keeping in check and being like, you know, are you seeing a therapist? Are you going to meetings? Are you doing those things? That was my responsibility, to make sure that my mother, her mental health and her physical health was in check. I do think that was my responsibility. To play, you know, caretaker to my mother and cheer her up and dance around, no, that was not it. I'm glad that I was able to make my mom happy and take her on little trips overnight and go to the casino and drive around and, you know, go to the outlet mall. I mean, we had a lot of fun together, and I'm happy about that, right? And I'm glad that I did add some happiness to my mom's life. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't do that. What I'm saying is it's not our sole responsibility to make even our partners in life happy, even our friends in life. It's not our responsibility. You know, yes, we have a heavy responsibility towards our children when they are under the age of 18, but as people become adults, we have to, and really, we have to own our own freedom of happiness, right? And I also believe this, that when you feel this sense of responsibility for somebody else's happiness or their joy or their bliss in life, like, you really are not allowing them to find it on their own, you know? I've known so many people in my life that, you know, like, one of the things I'm really thankful for is that, like, my parents, like, my dad would say things to me like, I don't think that this is the wisest choice, or I don't think that, you know, you should do this, or I don't think you should take this job or do this or whatever. But, like, he'd say, but you got to make your own decisions. I had to make my own decisions and whatever. You know, my dad said to me at one point, he's like, if I showed you my life and all the successes I had and all the mistakes I had, and you followed exactly what I did, you would have a very successful life. But I know that you have to make your own choices and learn it your own way. Well, there's a freedom that comes in that, right? Like, there's a freedom in learning how to be happy, what makes you happy. There's a freedom in learning how to make your own decisions, right or wrong, and learning from them. There's a freedom in learning from your mistakes. There's a freedom in all of that. And when we keep people from that, and we don't allow them to have the freedom of their own life, then we're really keeping them from enjoying their life to the best of their abilities. And I don't want to do that, and I don't want anybody to do that for me, you know? And today, I'm not responsible for anybody's happiness, even my husband's. And if he were sitting right here, my husband would say, you're not responsible for my happiness at all, and I'm not responsible for yours. Yes, we make each other happy. We do things for each other to make each other happy, but we're not responsible for each other's happiness. That's a completely different thing. It's a great meditation. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.